Hello. Today we're going to talk a little bit about writer's block, specifically in songwriting, although songwriting is just a style of writing, so it could work with any type of writing that you're doing. But I personally write songs almost every day, and that actually is kind of the first tip to write very consistently. And it doesn't have to be like a really good song or anything necessarily, just being active and getting those creative juices flowing and doing that consistently. It brings more ideas in my experience. And so I would say that is the first thing. And just the last few days I've been experiencing more writer's block. And another thing that really helps me when I'm kind of like unmotivated and don't feel like I have a lot of new like cool ideas, or just like not that confident in the songs that I'm like recently writing, I will actually look back at older songs of mine, and it doesn't even have to be super old, just like even a couple months ago or something, and just try to remember that, if it's a song that I'm proud of, try to remember that, I also wrote that song. Like, sure, it was 2 months ago, and maybe I didn't write anything I liked since 2 months ago, but I mean, it was still only 2 months ago, and it's still my creation. I made that. Like, that's something to be proud of. And so to listen back to songs that I do like of mine and just remember to kind of keep that enthusiasm as much as possible, that I am a good songwriter, and I enjoy the songs I make. And also, if you watch any like interview of songwriters, a lot of the time they will say like they're not constantly writing an amazing song every single time. It's kind of, with creativity, it's kind of hit or miss sometimes, and it's just about showing up consistently and writing a little something every day and just trying different things. So another tip that I would say is, if you play any instruments, I would say to try and change up what instrument you're playing. So for example, I play guitar a lot of the time. When I write songs, I start with the guitar and I choose chords on there. But if I'm not thinking of anything very interesting, then I will try to maybe go to my piano. And that is a totally different sound and vibe, of an instrument to try. And then from there, I'll get like new ideas just from changing up the instrument like that. I also have a ukulele that I don't use very often, but sometimes I'll pick it up, and that also is a different vibe. If you don't play an instrument, then you can also look on YouTube, or like Splice is a good website that has like a lot of instrument loops and stuff, which it can have some pretty cool, unique stuff on there, even like drum loops and stuff to get like a rhythm going. So those are some other little ideas. And I would also say with writer's block, a lot of the time, sometimes it's better to take a break rather than just try to push through all the time and write something anyways. Sometimes it's good to take a break, and and a real break, not a break like in my experience, when I take a break but the break is really just scrolling on TikTok or something. That's not a break to me. Like, my mind is not at rest. It's actually getting even more busy, and I feel like I come up with my best creative ideas when I'm actually like bored sometimes, because my mind is it's more clear, and I feel like there's more ideas that can come to me like in that state, rather than being so consumed with like information or constantly like trying to write all the time. Sometimes it's good to take a break, specifically in nature as well, hanging out in nature, going on a walk, sitting in the grass, in the trees, or like socializing, all this stuff, because it just kind of gives a new perspective when you maybe sit down to write like a little later that day even. And it could be just a totally different experience. And you can even write when you're out in nature as well, to change up the environment. And instead of just writing in one spot like your room or wherever you write usually, to change up the environment also can kind of help with writer's block. So yeah, some of those things really help me as well. And one other thing I would say is to listen to other music that you like, especially maybe listen to a different genre than you usually listen to. Like for example, I've been listening to like some like 90s hip hop, which is a different genre than I usually listen to, but it's so good. And I feel like it's just a very different vibe of music where it just inspires different things, you know, for my own music as well. And so yeah, try that out. And but yeah, then maybe you tried all of these things and taking a break and everything, and you're trying to get in that writing zone and just start writing something. First write, I would say put on a timer for like 10 minutes and just write for 10 minutes. Anything. And it doesn't have to be good, just write for 10 minutes. So it doesn't have to be long, but it's much better than nothing, and it just creates, you know, that action inspires more action. I don't know if that's the actual phrase, but you know what I mean, like just doing a little bit of something, and then you never know if you come up with an idea during that time. Even if you don't, you still had 10 minutes of writing time, and just to do that consistently. And but yeah, writer's block, it can be really frustrating sometimes, but just remember that it's very normal, and creativity, it comes when it wants to, and I'm sure you will write another amazing song that you love very, very soon. So hope this video helped you a little bit, and I will see you in the next one. All right.